I love a gigantic crowd in a theater. Like, if I'm at a theater, the bigger the crowd, the better for me. I feel like I rise to the occasion. I just feel so much energy, you know, in the room. Like, obviously there's more energy because there are more people. And so I feel all this stuff, and it just really inspires me to, you know, go back and forth with people and share this story. Because the other thing is, I know that when I get on stage, I'm sharing a story that I feel like I would die if I didn't get to share this story. Like, I must tell this story to people. Otherwise, there's no reason for my existence. That's the only way I'm going to perform. And I think anybody who's seen me live will agree that I seem like that on stage. I'm so glad you're here. I have this problem. We're in the room together. You can help me now. Let's solve this problem together. Let's go on this ride. I'm going to share the story with you, and we're going to, you know, go all over the place, up and down and over these mountains and across these rivers and oceans, and, you know, but we're going to get there together. Yeah. Full-size HDMI. So if I do need an external monitor, much better, right? Yeah. I mean, yo. I don't really, you know, the picture profiles are really cool too. No, they look pretty good. I mean, I only shoot in log, but I actually like some of the picture profiles. And I also like that the lenses are so small. You know, I could run around and just like, I don't have to like carry these big lenses all the time, and it just feels fun, you know? What a concept, fun, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, in my personal life, I don't like being known, really. I don't get anything from that. As a matter of fact, it feels invasive to me. Like, I'm so private, you know, I'm very solitary, like I said before. You know, like, I don't know if I could handle being, you know, Denzel Washington or Justin Timberlake or somebody like that. Like, I can't imagine that life, you know. But that's just me. But on the other hand, I want the theater to be full. I want a room filled with people. I don't want to be there by myself. And so that's kind of weird, right? So image quality is amazing. You know, dynamic range. Like, one thing I've learned, if you know how to, like, you know, get your, if you know how to set everything up properly, you know, really set your exposure and get your white balance and you know, get everything right. You know, I mean, dynamic range, like, sometimes I like the way a blown out sky looks. Like, I do that on purpose. Yeah, you know, like, not always, but sometimes, you know. So yeah, dynamic range is cool. But I'm just saying, the Vlog in this camera has plenty of dynamic range for me, you know. The only thing I will say is sometimes when I shoot myself, my skin tones, like, my face looks a little bit more red than the S5 with the exact same settings, exact same frame, like everything exactly the same. The S5 seems to do skin tones better a little bit, I think. I mean, it might be a matter of taste too, because in the GH5 it looks kind of good, but it doesn't look the way I've been used to it from the S5, and I like the way it looks in the S5 better. I'm having this thing lately, like, I find myself not pursuing performance as much live because I'm really questioning, what do I want from it? You know what I mean? Like, what am I willing to do outside of the craft? Like, I'm kind of at a point where I'm thinking, like, how can I, like, okay, I haven't done a play in a long time. I really want to do a play. You know, I have some ideas that are really important to me, and I think important for the world, you know, and that's not like being an asshole. It's just like, it's my greatest contribution, in my opinion. But I don't want to do all the outside things. I don't want to, like, you know, I talked to somebody who somebody approached me. This happens all the time, but somebody recently approached me. They wanted to help me with my, you know, social media presence and my YouTube. They're like, you're so incredible, you're this, but, you know, you don't know, your SEO is terrible, your thumbnails, all this kind of shit. And I'm like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, are we talking about SEO? What is SEO, you know? And my thumbnails, I don't focus on that. I'm writing a play, you know? I'm writing a screenplay. I'm filming a movie. That's what I'm worried about. I ain't worried about all the other stuff, but that's stupid. if I want to engage and get the biggest audience possible, I know without a doubt that I have to be in that world. I want to do a documentary, you know? Like I want to do a documentary because I feel like, especially now with the way the world is and, you know, things just so raw and, you know, right on the edge of just like falling apart in so many different places and so many little micro things happening around that, you know, like women losing all their rights, you know, like it's unbelievable what's happening in this world. I feel like I want to do a documentary. I want to get to people so that maybe to give them a voice into a film, you know what I mean? Like not speak my voice necessarily, but go out there and kind of find what other people are thinking, what other people are feeling. Why are we so focused on being the most popular as opposed to crafting work that is the highest level that we can possibly make, learning, evolving, you know, like not being afraid to get off of social media for 6 months or a year and develop a play, you know, create a sculpture, you know, make a movie, take a year, make an album, take 2 years, get away. Like, what are you afraid of? You're going to lose your followers? You are going to lose your followers, but you might become Beethoven, you know? You might become a great artist. I think if you focus on social media the way you do, you're just going to become great at social media. And then you're going to just be, you know, whatever you're talented at, that's what you're going to be, you know? And everybody has some kind of talent, you know? Some people have these crazy gifts from God where they can play the piano just by hearing a song once and they can play it back, or they can, you know, learn harmony and learn how to solo on the guitar or the saxophone, or, you know, paint, like just look at something and paint it. Like, people have these natural gifts, but no matter how gifted you are, if you give yourself the opportunity to really develop yourself and learn and work and evolve and listen and pay attention to other people and be inspired and go see other people's work and read and go to museums and do all these things that inspire you to be better, you're going to be a better artist. You're going to grow. You're going to evolve into something that you don't even know. You know, you have no idea where you're headed, what you're capable of. You have no idea what you can accomplish. But you have to be willing to get away. Yeah, I'm happy, man. No, the S5 is my main gear, you know, like, no question. I love that camera. And the GH5 is bigger than the S5. It's heavier. Yeah. I mean, but you know, when you use smaller lenses, it makes a difference. So the GH5 winds up being smaller, but it's as a camera, you know, if I put a speed booster on and I start using like full frame lenses, it's definitely as big, if not bigger, than the S5. Now the S5, I use my anamorphic lenses a lot, so that makes it pretty big, but they're both around the same size. But I'm going to use both of them, but the S5 is going to be my main camera. I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, I think overall, it is better image quality at the end of the day, you know. But having said that, if I had known, like if I had bought a GH5 first, like on eBay for $475, I don't think I would have upgraded ever. And in fact, I might have bought just a second GH5, you know, although probably because of eBay, I would have been so curious and said, oh, I need to know what full frame is like. And I probably would have wound up buying, I probably would have bought an S5. Like, it probably would have been almost the exact same thing, just opposite, you know. Like, I would have thought, damn, I better get a backup. Maybe I'll get a full frame camera. I'll get an S5. You know, and this, like with regards to a channel like this, why are you thinking about what cameras to get all the time? You know, I just got a few comments the other day on one of my videos that I did recently about people who own the GH5 for years, the camera I'm shooting on right here that I'm looking at. You don't need another camera other than the GH5 to make great work, to make a film that can wind up on HBO or Showtime or the Stars Network or Hulu or Netflix. That's real talk. If you know what you're doing, if you're committed to it, if you really try to figure out innovative, different kinds of ways, like maybe you could come up with something that seems like, wow, that's the newest thing. That's the latest thing. Or maybe you can just do something that makes you feel so good about yourself, like you have accomplished something that you couldn't even ever have imagined before. You know, you're not just like feeding your ego, making yourself feel bigger than you are or grander than everybody around you, like you're the captain, you know, you're the one that everybody should look up to. What is the value in that? Like, what's that worth? I mean, I'm sure they're incredible cameras, but I'm not going to upgrade to the S5 II or the 2X just because of, that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah, I'm not going to do it just because of autofocus. Like, I mean, if I find myself in a situation where I have to shoot 6K or 8K or something like that, then maybe I'll upgrade to one of those cameras, but I doubt it, you know? And when am I, you know, like, unless you're like shooting for somebody who absolutely requires that, who needs to shoot in 6K or 8K? Like, who even needs to really, like, I am shooting 4K for the project I'm doing right now just because I wasn't really sure what it was going to be like, and I wanted to have the opportunity to punch in if I needed to. So yeah, that's much better. But 1080 is fine, and you know, I think I don't even hardly use 1080 anymore just because, I don't know, I just set my camera at 4K all the time and I just got used to it. And I have like so many hard drives in my apartment now. But really, if I was smarter, I would just shoot in 1080 all the time, or most of the time, because it looks fine. You know, when everybody else is working on all of this other stuff, hunker down and work on this thing, your stuff, develop something. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm sitting. And so I have to decide, am I going to commit to a play or a film, or am I going to make something that combines both of them? I'm going to try to do something innovative, and then I have to decide, how do I go about it? But what I really have to decide is, what do I want? I'm kind of confused about that. No, I'm way into picking cool aspect ratios. Like, I really like that, you know. And honestly, like, I love shooting in anamorphic, but I'm not really sure I like it as much anymore, because I'm like, why do I like the fact that we're cutting so much of the vertical out of the shot? You know what I mean? Like, I love 4x3. Did you ever see that movie Ida? IDA. I love the way that movie looks, man. It's shot in 4x3. What's that other movie? I can't remember now, but I love 4x3. Yeah, because it gives you vertical, it's kind of a box, it's like, it seems kind of old school, you know, like old fashioned, and I like that kind of aesthetic. So, you know, it's just funny, like I like anamorphic, but I like 4x3, they're completely opposite. See, people don't think you're working hard unless you're in social media, really working it properly. And I don't see that. I see people doing that, but they're compromising their actual work. And I'm not here to judge anybody else's work, but I know myself, if I'm spending all these hours just trying to get followers and trying to figure all that out, that's a full-time job. How to have the most popular YouTube channel. That's not making movies. That's not being an artist. You know, that's not memorizing a script. Sometimes I got to spend 6 hours a day memorizing a script for 4, 5, 6 months. How do I have more time to survive, make money, eat, live indoors, create my art, you know, like do the things that are important to me, and memorize a script for 6 hours a day, and do social media, and get followers, and schmooze with people, and all that kind of stuff? Like, nah. How do I do that? Anyway, yo, I got to get out of here. I got stuff to do. So you want to hook up? Let's go. Yo, I found a good pizza place up here. All right. No, I'll be in the city. Oh, you know what? I'll be there next Thursday. Let's go to Catania on Arthur Avenue. Yeah, it's like that last pizza place. Go all the way from 187th, go south, like down the block, It's the last pizza place on the right-hand side. So, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out, where am I going? I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out, and hopefully it'll be something that combines everything, because I'm not against, yeah, I said I hate social media, but that's just because that's my sensibility. But it's not that I don't see the value in it, and it's not that I don't see the genuine nature if you approach it in the right way. I do see that. I just have to figure out how I can incorporate that into the process that I know is required to make great art, the greatest art that I can make. How do I incorporate all of it? You could take the D train to Fordham Road and just walk. Or I guess you could take the 4, 5, or the 6 and get off at Pelham Parkway by White Plains Road, just take the bus. Or you can walk, it's not that far. And also, I'd like to have more balance in my life. I'd like to have more relationships, you know, a better, fuller, richer life with people, you know. So how do I figure all of that out? I'm trying to figure it out. And I think in this current world right now, it's the hardest time ever in history to figure that out. But that's where I'm at. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, man. Thanks for calling. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, we won't talk about me at all when we hook up. Okay, cool. All right, man. GH5, S5. I'll speak to you later. All right, peace.